In Unit 5, we will learn about memory, cognition, and language. Before the class meeting, you will watch this video as well as the video on memory terms, and you should complete the memory terms handout. This will address spacing, serial positioning, mnemonics, chunking, and hierarchy, which are all important to understanding how memory works and how we can improve memory. Before that, though, we should start by asking ourselves, what is memory? That's easy because without memory, you would have no past. You wouldn't just be like HM, because he retained some memory. Yours would be truly lost. You wouldn't know yourself. You wouldn't have any language skills. You wouldn't have any cognitive processes. You would live literally in the moment, unable to retain a thought or fact for more than a few seconds. Psychologists have several models of how memory works. This is the Atkinson-Shiffrin's three-stage model from 1968. In the box on the left, we see sensory memory. At any moment, your senses are receiving millions of sensory stimuli. Some you notice, some you don't. There are voices, background sounds, lights, images, faces, feelings of hot or cold, smells. In order for a stimulus to make the step from sensory to short-term memory, you must pay attention to the stimulus. In the middle box, the short-term memory box, you are encoding a novel or new piece of information. However, short-term memory fades and cannot be retrieved later. In order for this individual's face to be available for retrieval at a later time, let's say you're an eyewitness to his violent treatment of another fan and the police want you to pick out his picture in a lineup the next day, you will need to encode the image into long-term memory. That may require rehearsal, a thoughtful, intentional recording of his features and characteristics. This basic three-stage model has several problems. For one thing, it doesn't explain why some stimuli seem to skip the first two stages and go directly to long-term memory without conscious attention. For example, you may smell an apple pie baking and suddenly remember a childhood holiday spent with your grandmother, even though you never intentionally paid attention to the scent of the pie at the time. In addition, psychologists today believe that short-term memory is more complex than the model indicates. That's why we will use a revised version of this model, which replaces short-term with working memory. In this model, we consider the three stages of memory as three stores of memory: sensory memory, working memory, and long-term memory. Encoding is used to move an item from sensory to working or from working to long-term memory. When we retrieve a memory, it moves back into working memory where we can think about and process what we know. Working memory has a duration of about 20 seconds and can hold approximately 7 discrete items, although there are strategies that keep more information in your working memory. Here's a test of your working memory. See if you can memorize these consonants with no rehearsal or opportunity to encode them into long-term memory. I will give you a few seconds to read them, then a delay before I ask you to recall them. You can see from the graph that most people's memory decays very quickly. By 18 seconds, you can see that almost half the consonants are forgotten. We'll see how you do. Ready, set, go. Okay, now write down as many of the consonants in order as you can recall. How well did you do? You can try it again if you pause and rewind and back up the video. You can try it again and give yourself 20 seconds and see if you can remember as many consonants. After you're done with that, you should watch the video lecture called Unit 5 Memory Notes.